What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. Reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. What's good? Welcome, everybody. It is the sixth element of hip hop. I'm your host, Reno. This is my co-host, Stu Dog, as always, and we have some very special guests in the house tonight. Cashado Comics.
What's going
What's
on?
good, fellas?
Doing well.
I got my spectacles on today. I normally don't wear, but I gotta see, man. I gotta see what's going on today because I met these guys on Instagram on just a random, met in the comments or something like that, and they collect the original pages, bro, out of the comic book, right? So like when let's say Rob Liefeld's drawing up a comic book page and he draws it up and he turns that into Marvel and they turn that into a comic book, that fucking paper that he turned into Marvel, these guys collect those.
Yes, sir. The pencils and the inks.
The original art.
I've heard of that, man. I've heard of people doing that, but I've never. Yeah, my mind is going because I've never actually met anybody that has them or done it. But I've heard of it. And how hard are they to get a hold of?
That is the question.
It is. It can be a challenge, and it can be a bit of a pricey, especially now, a pricey endeavor. But to let you know how it kind of all got started, I started collecting comics in 1996 when I was 6 years old with my dad and my brother here, Zach. Our father was really into baseball cards, and he was also really into animation cells. So he had a lot of like Looney Tunes animation cells, Dudley Dooley, Rocky and Bullwinkle, stuff like that.
Old school Hanna-Barbera.
All that kind of stuff. And when we would go with him like to collectible conventions as kids, he knew we were both into like comic books, Batman, Pogs, all the stuff going on kind of when we were kids. And so he'd be like, here's $10, go hang out over there so I can do my baseball stuff.
Yeah.
And we'd go crazy with like all the stuff. And I got my first comic was a Batman comic. It was by Bruce Timm from the from the Batman Adventures series. And then as a kid fell in love with X-Men the animated series. And that's what we'll get to one of the first things I'm going to show today.
Yeah, because I was looking through your page and I'm looking at the pencil drawings, and then I noticed something, man, that looked suspiciously like those cells that I saw on the Disney Channel when they were talking about how the Walt Disney cartoons were made, and they were showing those cells. And I said, man, are these fucking cells from the animated series, bro?
Bring it up a little closer. Yeah.
Wow. Look at that, man. My two favorite guys, Bishop and Cable. Talk to me about these. Where do you get? Yeah, these are my favorite characters.
I actually found these when I was in college down in LA. I went to an estate sale. I used to go on weekends if I wasn't partying or playing rugby.
Right.
I was going to estate sales, and I happened to luck into a lot. There were five cells, and I bought all 5 of them.
Hell yeah.
$150 a piece at the time.
All right. But worth it.
The rest is history. We'll bring up one other one really quick here. My favorite one probably in my collection, cell-wise.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Comic yellow.
Boom.
Chair going on.
Like that.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I like that.
I wish I knew what actual episodes the cells were from. That I
Right.
didn't have information on. But I'm still trying to figure that all out myself. I've had them for years. I've gotten around to actually figure out like what actual episode each cell is from.
Okay.
But a lot of times I find these at estate sales. I find these from private collections. There are some art dealers that do sell cells, but they're not as prevalent as like the actual artwork. You don't see the cells as often. You'll run into them on eBay once in a while. They've gotten a bit more expensive, especially the X-Men and Transformers cells, but it's coming along. The next piece I want to show you, though, kind of it's a good segue with the X-Men, the animated series. We'll bring this up. You guys know
Slade said that's episode 2.
exactly.
Calling it out. And he said the other one is from episode 6. He's our resident.
Okay,
Slade Wilson. Thank you, sir.
So we know.
Hell yeah.
I mean, at least that's a place to start. You can start the research there. So he said one is from episode 2, and the other one from episode 6.
Right, cool.
Dude, for the win right there.
Hell yeah.
Outsourcing. So this bit of a unique piece. Hopefully you guys ate this when you were kids. Chef Boyardee goodness. I'll show you the
What?
What?
Dude.
And then that's the original artwork for the label by Arthur Adams.
Oh, that's killer, man.
Yeah, so I had them framed together. I ate a lot of this as a kid.
Right.
It was fun to own the artwork from it.
Now, did you ever have a can of that when you were a kid with that label on there?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's even
It
cooler.
actually took longer for me to hunt down. Like, I had found the artwork and was paying it off, and it took me almost a year to find that specific label.
Wow.
We wanted to frame them together.
Now, listen, man, I know you say I found them at estate sales. What does that even mean? Like, how do you find, man, like, because I know, like, that just sounds really random. That's like saying you find them at garage sales. I mean, what?
Yeah, it kind of is like that. I do a lot of research online. There's a great website called comicartfans.com. That's where I do a lot of my research. I also just scour want ads, Craigslist, different, like, there are places you can look for where people are doing estate sales, like Sotheby's, different auction houses. You look for where they're advertising, and you can usually find some stuff. Like, I was luckily in Los Angeles for college, so it was a good spot to be for estate sales and finding random kind of fun stuff. And usually, like, you'll go into the categories on the websites, and they have stuff like, okay, this is the things we're doing that are comic book related. This is the lots that we have, and then I'll go and hopefully get lucky and not have too many people with a lot of knowledge outbidding me.
Yeah. Right.
Crazier and crazier ever since COVID.
Yeah, more and more people are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really, like the collectible hobby. Really
Collectible. Period.
Yeah, COVID has been just crazy.
Yep. That's what everybody says, man. And it's in everything. It's in comics. It's in I don't care, statues, action figures, baseball cards, you name it.
Like, for me, like, when COVID started and I started seeing the market change, that was the moment I decided to sell all my comics and, like, go into the art world, because I had some artwork, but the artwork was always out of reach financially.
Yeah.
But when the market exploded, the comics got more like
valuable. Yeah.
Where the art was, so I was just selling it all off. People thought I was crazy when I sold my Amazing Fantasy 15. But I did it, and
yeah, he did that.
I did it for a specific reason. I'll show you.
But tell me you got a page from the book or something crazy.
No, I didn't get a page from the book, but I got something very special. Do you guys know Neal Adams?
Absolutely.
Yes, we do.
So up top here,
we did a whole little show about Neal Adams.
Let me see if I can get some glare on you there. Yeah, so the top part here. Yeah, help me out. There. Move it over to the right a little bit. There's fine. So the top part is a commission. I commissioned Neal to do the artwork.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I sold the Amazing Fantasy 15, commissioned Neal to do the artwork with part of the proceeds from that. And then what was cool was I got the idea for how this looked from a piece that Joe Rubenstein did. He did it for the Marvel Handbook. And if you bring this part up now, so the colored portion of the art piece, I took the original that I had commissioned and scanned it to Joe Rubenstein, and Joe printed it out and did the color job and shipped it to me, so I'd have both the inks and pencil and then a colored version of the artwork. So it's a fun you get to see kind of all the pieces in one. Like where you see like, okay, so you have the pencil and the inker, and then you see the colorist gets a scan of that. Normally, they never usually do color directly on the artwork ever, even when they're doing the pages.
Right.
It's usually they send in the artwork. Marvel will then send a scan of that to the colorist to do the color guide.
Right.
Use the color guide to print the page.
Wow.
God damn.
So it's just a fun little way to see kind of all the pieces that go into, like if they were going to make that into a page, they would then take the Joe Rubinstein colors and use that to make the page itself.
Okay. That makes sense.
So,
that is amazing, bro.
I heard you say earlier you're a big Cable and Bishop fan, correct?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, look at it.
Oh, he's getting some.
Oh, okay. While he gets that, let me grab mine. So can you do it at the same time? This one's special.
We'll show him the same time.
Yeah. But Stu Dog, are you? How'd you get into comics? Do you collect?
Yes, I do. I've been collecting since I was a kid, man. I'm a big fan.
Hell yeah.
Once I got into it, I just couldn't stop, man. I did pause for a little bit, but once I got back, once I found a good comic book shop, it's been
over, right? It's over. Your wallet gets mad at you.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Those are vintage. Those are tight.
Yeah. These are from the animated series. They did a manga. In Japan, and you see the Japanese letters.
Yeah, that's super cool. I've never seen that.
No, there's only like what, I don't know, maybe 50 of these in existence. The guy that makes the shirts, he only did a limited number of series, so he took the inside cover of those mangas, and this was one cover, this was another cover. He's got a Gambit that he just did that's on the way. But that's Vintage Rush on Instagram, man. It's Vintage Rush, and he's he's kind of like our sponsor and stuff. So big shout out to Vintage Rush.
Since you're a big Cable and Bishop fan, I think we should this baby right here,
bro.
So, this is from X Factor 85, part of the Extinction story arc, and this is the first time you get to see Bishop and Cable meeting each other. This is their first meeting in comic books.
Yes, I know.
So this is when Cable shoots Bishop with a plasma weapon, and Bishop's like, "You don't know who I am, then, huh?"
Right.
That just fuels me some more, and then he just whops him with some.
Shot it back. Yeah.
Exactly. This is by Jai Lee.
Yes.
With inks by Al Milgram.
Damn.
And it's a fun piece.
So that's amazing, man.
And I think I want people to understand, like, guys, that's one of a kind. There's one copy of that. There's not a bunch of copies of that. Like you get a comic book, there's how many hundreds of thousands of copies. These are one copy. There's only one. Look at that. X Factor number 5. What's that say? 10?
Oh yeah.
So it's going to tell you
10?
issue number 85, page number 10.
Correct.
That's, guys, man, that's brilliant. And that's that's an awesome page too. Because I mean, you can get any page. Like every page isn't gonna be dope like that.
No.
So
when you're hunting comic book artwork, the 3 things or 4 things you're looking for are artist, character, story arc, and historical value to the page.
So much like a comic.
Very similar. Yeah. So like there are a bunch of pages from the book that, like, okay, there's not a lot of big characters in them. They're not going to be nearly as valuable as a page that has the main characters or a big splash kind of and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Like big full page.
Pages are always the best. You have like 3/4 splash, full page splash, and like this is quarter splash. Yep.
So okay, so and that's sort of what gives it the value, like what page it is, what arc it is, and that's how they
usually those are the big features. So like the artist, the character, and how it relates to that artist.
Right.
Like if you have like Rob Liefeld Deadpool, it's obviously going to be a big piece because that's one of his big characters. Same with like Wolverine or Adam Kubert or Magneto or any of the X-Men for Jim Lee. Wilch Portio, you'll have like Storm, Cable. I mean, not Storm, Bishop, or like the two big ones for Wilch because he created Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, like the more valuable the piece will be based on, like, okay, this is a character that was created by that artist.
Right.
Like,
like if Liefeld does Deadpool or something or whatever.
Yeah, let me grab this one really quick. I'll give you a good example.
Peeping shit on the walls, guys, man.
Yeah, man. You guys been busy.
Example.
Busy.
So Mark Silvestri.
Yep.
Mark Silvestri is the creator of Jubilee. Okay. So that's what gives this piece a lot of its value. Is it's a 90s page. So anything 90s is usually going to be big. 90s X-Men, and then all Wolverine and Jubilee in it, who are both big characters for Mark Silvestri.
Right. Man. So that gives it more value. What? Okay. So now, if I was trying to compare it to the comic collecting hobby,
yeah,
value wise, like yeah, you can get comics that are all, you know, worth thousands of bucks, but I can also buy $10 comics and $5 comics. So like, how does that? What's it compare? Like price range wise? I mean,
there's plenty of artwork pieces that you can get that are cheaper. Like, yeah,
this is something I got him for, I think, your birthday a couple years ago.
Mark Teixeira Ghost Rider commission piece.
Yeah, from 2016. It was like, I think, $110 on eBay.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that's more like convention sketches,
right,
stuff like that will be cheaper. There are pages that aren't as expensive, newer pages, pages that just aren't like they're not historical
stuff that doesn't.
Right.
Right. I can grab
like it's not a key issue. Like it's not a key issue.
Exactly.
It's not a key page.
Not featuring, if it's got like nobody anyone's gonna recognize, that's
right.
Like it's a good example to answer your question. It's still a cool piece of artwork. You got Magneto, you got Professor X. Like it's still cool, but it's more of a new piece of artwork. Greg Land and Jay Leaston, there's a lot of their artwork out there.
So if I'm a new collector or I'm just getting into the hobby, that's a good starter piece, maybe.
Yeah, this will run you like $200, $250.
Okay.
If you're doing a good job hunting, and like I think with shipping, it cost me around $270 for this piece, like a year ago. Was something like, oh my god, like but I just really like the artwork. I like Magneto was descending down to talk to Professor X, and so I was like, I'm gonna grab it, throw it up on my wall, have some fun with it.
Oh yeah, man.
So it could end up being a good trade piece.
So what's a page like?
How many of these do you have in total?
Yeah, the question out of the chat.
I have less than I used to, because what I've been doing lately, since the market has gone a bit down. Like what I was doing when the market was really going crazy, I was selling a lot.
Right.
Now what I'm doing is more doing trades, trying to find like, okay, if I can package a couple pieces together, I can get a bigger piece.
Yeah. Do the same thing with comics. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's just not as many people with the money to buy stuff right now. So it's I pivoted to trading more recently, and that's how I look at it. I always am trying to go for a bigger piece so I consolidate the stuff that isn't as meaningful to me anymore. It's not where my collection is going, and then I'll go to an art dealer or somebody and try to be like, oh, hey, I see you have this piece. Can I give you a combination of these pieces for that, and try to finagle my way into a really dope piece? I did that recently for an Alan Davis cover. This is.
Oh, you guys are gonna love this.
This one's from I think either '98 or '99 by Alan Davis.
Yes.
Wow.
I saw that one on Instagram, bro. That is
yeah. So I traded a bunch of pieces for this. I traded a Jack Kirby pencil piece that I had in my collection. I traded 4 or 5 pieces to get this into the collection. I really loved it. So I was surprised that I had it too. But like,
what does it say at the bottom?
People find the right person that wants whatever you're trying to trade, and it works out. And like, usually it's value based. Like, they'll be like, well, I want to get this much value out of it, so I try to put together a package for them that'll get me what I want. Doesn't always pan out. This has been one of the best trades I've made, in my opinion. Between
that is fucking glorious. What's it say at the bottom? What does it say on the?
Oh, so at the bottom here it says so it's from the X-Men run. So it's X-Men Volume 2, the run that Jim Lee started with Chris Claremont. And then it says Alan Davis, Mark Farmer. So that's the Alan Davis is the penciler and Mark Farmer is the inker. And then it has both their signatures on the right side next to the Marvel Group logo. And then it also has the issue number. Wow. You can bring it up. Yeah.
That is crazy.
That is
so. Why does Wolverine look like that though?
Okay, good question. This is from
that's the first question I asked when I saw it too.
So this is a fun story. It's
I thought he was the guy that I forget his name that Deadpool fought or that was he was on the team with Deadpool. Anyways, man, go ahead with your story.
So this is actually Professor X.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked like Professor X.
It looked like
very confusing. So
right.
Sorry, my dog. Link, stop barking. In this story,
I'm laughing because I'm gonna name my husky puppy Link.
There you go. It's just Zelda.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In this story arc, Professor X's consciousness is put into Wolverine's body.
Right.
That's where you get this kind of, you have like Wolverine's shadow behind Professor X with the claws, because it's kind of trying to do that dichotomy of the two different people, but in the same body. And man, that's a weird story, but it's a lot of fun.
That just makes it that much cooler.
Oh yeah, I love the hair. That's probably my favorite part, is the shadow behind Professor. Like, I love the claws out and everything, but the shadow behind Professor X really makes it.
Absolutely. He's got a ponytail going on.
Right.
That's why I thought it was God damn it! Why can't I think of his name right now?
Ajax, aka
No, he's an X-Force. He's a Rob Liefeld character. He rocked with Deadpool, the team with him and Cable. He's bald with like a ponytail on top, man.
Oh man, I'm just drawing a blank.
Dude,
would be
somebody else.
Liefeld,
I'll figure it out.
I got a good pivot for Rob Liefeld.
Yeah.
This one I think will probably end up being y'all's favorite because it's one of my favorites. And Rob is kind of hard to miss.
Oh yeah, man. Strife.
Oh.
Clone of Cable.
Yeah.
And Zero.
Right.
So a cool thing about this piece, this would be known as a full page splash.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from X-Force Volume 1, Number 6. It's the first page of the book. And what's cool about this is Rob's one of the few people who does his pencils and his inks.
Right.
So this is all Rob. And you can know that because Rob always draws his feet kind of funny.
Yes. Notoriously.
You always know when it's Rob Liefeld because of the feet and because of kind of style and how he does the shiny pieces to people. It's a very,
and they always have a wider kind of head. I feel like he does.
Oh yeah, like everyone loves that piece from I think it's from the Reborn series with Captain America on the cover, and it's like his chest is gigantic.
Yeah.
It's like, would someone have a body type like that? I don't know, but yeah.
No, I mean, it was like Cable too, like the whole 90s, like everybody was massive. That was just Rob's style, but it was stylized, you know. And I
a lot of pouches.
I never had a problem with it. Yeah, pockets everywhere. Like I loved it, dude. I thought.
Oh yeah, no, this is one of my favorite pieces because it's rare that you get like a full page with one or two characters and like him sitting on his throne like that. Like this one was one when I saw it, I had to have it.
Okay, so can I ask, what's a piece like this go for value wise?
So when I bought this piece, it was $7,500. This was say 4 years ago now.
Yeah, I think about.
So I'd say it's in the realm of. I'd say it's around 12 grand now. If someone offered me 12, I'd be willing to let it go. But if I was probably ever going to sell it, I'd probably just put it up for auction.
I was gonna get into this hobby.
It can be hard, man. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be where I'm at if I hadn't had the.
Do you think it's better to auction than sell? Right. Usually,
it depends on the piece. If it's a historical piece like that, better to auction.
Because you can jack it up and it'll go up and up and up.
Yeah, I guess like I'm pretty certain it's going to get a certain amount at auction no matter what. It's usually going with an auction. Like for example, the way I got to where I was a lot of selling of stuff. So
especially comic books.
Exactly. So I had a vast comic book collection.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Like it was like a room.
I had thousands of books, and now I have maybe hundreds.
Like through the boxes, there was like
a maze.
Yeah.
Like a pathway. Yeah.
So like the main thing that happened was, so when I was younger, my dad, being the baseball card collector that he knew I was avid into the comic books. He was like, what you want to do is focus on the first appearances and origin characters, because that's the rookie card. Right.
That's how you broke it down.
8 or 9 years old. And so after that, that was like the focus that I always had. I didn't have a lot of filler in my collection. It was always very, very pinpointed at what I was doing. I wasn't going to waste my money on something just because I liked it. I had a system what I was doing.
Yeah. I only bought stuff I liked, and I even would when I started, I wouldn't even buy key issues because I felt like I was buying an episode of a TV show. I would only buy complete runs at a time. Like I would buy the whole run because I read, like I wanted to read it too. Like so. Yeah,
so
but
I trade paper.
I got into key issues when I figured out how key issues worked and all of that when I got older. And like my dad, I didn't have my dad to break it down to me like that. Rip. That's like gold right there.
Technology was huge because it helped. Like as I got older and realized the dude was right. Like he was not. He was 100% on that. I went full board, always going for first appearances, origins, etc. And then like I said, when the market just went crazy in 2020, everyone was watching WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier, and I sold everything. Like I just started selling off all the big books. I had first appearances. I had Fantastic Four #1. I had Fantastic Four #5. First appearance of Doom. I had.
You said you had AF-15, right? That's like real.
Amazing Fantasy 15. I had Tales of Suspense 39. Like I had pretty much everyone in the MCU's first appearance. Like
Hulk 181.
Hulk 181, 182. I had Foom 10, Friends of Old Marvel 10, which is the actual first appearance of the giant size X-Men team. I had a lot.
Wow.
So like when I saw,
were they slabbed up or raw? Were you into slabs or raw?
Mostly raw. I had like the bigger books I would get graded if I didn't buy them already graded or whatever at whichever point. A lot of my majority of my pretty much everything in my collection now is raw. I don't have any slab anymore because it's been sold to buy art.
To buy art. Yeah. Chris, man, Masher, welcome to the show. Sorry,
I'm late.
I know, man. You missed these guys. So these guys, they're obviously they collect art pieces and stuff like that, like pages, original pages, out of comics and stuff.
I saw a couple of them, yeah.
If you have any questions, man, feel free.
What's your favorite piece? I hate getting asked that question, so I love asking other people those questions.
It's such a hard answer though to give.
It's hard, yeah. That's hard.
Favorite piece. Probably is it going to be that one?
It's hard not to go with the Joe Cooper Wolverine. But it's probably going to be this.
Oh, the Joe Kubert Wolverine is good.
It's probably going to be this page here. Because it's really, you don't see this very often. So,
okay.
This is a retelling of Magneto's origin being narrated by Doctor Doom.
Right.
That's I love the yellowing of like the wax coming apart.
Right. And what's special about this piece is it's by John Byrne. And John Byrne is most known for his X-Men work and his Fantastic Four work. He's the artist from Dark Phoenix Saga. He's the artist from Days of Futures Past. You name a big story arc, it's probably going to be John Byrne or someone just as good. But
Claremont era, yeah,
exactly. Him and Claremont did a lot of work together, and you don't get a lot of pages in comics with Doctor Doom and Magneto together.
Bro, that's like
that's awesome.
If any.
So so Magneto will always be my favorite character in comics.
Okay, he's up there for me for villains. Yeah,
but yeah, to own one of his origins is something I'll always kind of pinch myself over. I still don't believe it to this day.
That is awesome.
Now, I
have any
like out of my
Young, you got any Scotty Young work in there in your collection anywhere?
I did. I sold my Scotty Young piece. I had a Venom page by Scotty, and I had a commission piece by him, but both have been sold from my collection, sadly.
Because he mostly only does covers too, right? He doesn't do a lot of I don't.
Correct.
He has his own like Fairyland. He has his own comics and stuff. But
earlier in his career, he did some interior for some Venom books.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Venom's where it's at right there. And that's the only original I have is a Venom piece.
Yeah, Venom. I like how they're doing all the Venomized comics and everything. They first started doing all that in the 90s, but when they rehashed it in the mid-2000s, it's really taken off. And I like that they're sticking with the Venomized.
The Venomized Funko.
Oh, yeah, all the Venomized stuff is a lot of fun.
Let me see. Hold on, Mash. Let me blow your screen up.
So that's my
go. Okay.
Venom. Look at Eddie Brock transforming, or he's got the symbiote.
That's tight.
That's wicked.
That's so Spider-Man.
Yeah, I never saw that, Mash. I didn't know you had those.
That's very cool. Are those both original? The one with the Spider-Man, the swinging spider?
So there's a kid on Instagram called Crazy Good Arts, and he makes pieces like that. So that's a little like shadow box. He cut out the picture, colored it. It's got LED lights inside. It's a nice piece.
That one pops.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got that Venom piece. Reminded me of like the '90s cartoon Spider-Man.
That's what
He announced himself as Venom, and he like crushes the newspaper. So picking up that piece. One of my local shops had it, and it was like $250. I was like, okay,
yeah.
I mean, it's nothing too spectacular, but
the original art game, like it's hard because the original art world, the stuff jumps really quickly. Like it goes from like stuff that's attainable to like you're selling your collection to get it, and it's hard. Like I wouldn't like I said, I would not be anywhere near the art collector that I am today if I hadn't sold all my comic collection. Like,
no, I agree with Reno. I would love to have more original artwork, but
I would too. Yeah,
it's kind of high. It's kind of high.
It's up there. All art is up there. Yeah, art is up there, man.
Yeah, but the thing is this: like, the reason that I wanted to get into. I mean, I've wanted to get into it ever since I saw the movie Unbreakable, and remember how Mr. Glass had the fucking gallery, and I was like, it dawned on me that you could be an art collector and not just collect like Van Gogh and shit. You could collect Jim Lee and shit like that.
Jim Lee,
That's what I'm into. That's what I'm on. That's the shit I'm on. I want $2 million paintings on my wall. You know what I'm saying? But the shit is a comic page. Like that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. So to give you an example of a more modern piece that still attains a lot of value, I can show you this. It's not X-Men, and it's a little harder to see because it's just pencil.
Oh, Invincible?
Yeah. So this.
Oh, wow.
So this is Ryan Otley's pencils to Invincible 61, and this is the first time Conquest shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my favorite villain from the series. This is himself. He's introducing himself to Invincible in this panel.
Yeah, bro. He's a god, bro. Conquest is.
It's hard to see because of the pencils and the glare, but
you can still see it enough. That's a beautiful freaking piece.
Oh yeah, man.
That gives you an example of something that's modern from the last like 10 years, and is still highly valuable because it's a first appearance of a character, a big villain character. So it's got the historical aspect to it going for it.
So what's a piece like that go for?
That one, if I was going to sell it, I'd probably let it go for $6,000.
That's not too bad.
Not terrible. It's still attainable, but I have a feeling when he shows up on the show that price is going to go up.
Oh, it's definitely going to shoot through the roof.
Yeah, so like right now I'm holding on to it because I kind of plan on using it for trade fodder once he shows up on the show. I want to get myself on the X-Men page.
And when it comes
Gideon
to art,
is the character I was thinking about.
I like Gideon.
Ross. Gideon, you know what I'm talking about? That's what I thought that was.
Okay.
This guy
That's
going super obscure.
Yeah, Gideon.
Even the Alex Ross, because I'm big into Alex Ross. I love his artwork. I go on his page and try to obtain some of that.
I have owned Alex Ross pencils. I've never owned a painting. His paintings are you're spending 12 to 15 grand at minimum for his painting.
Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about, though. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If I ever became a rich art collector, that's what I'm on.
So, like, if you can go look, his manager is Sal Abenati. I've dealt with Sal. Sal's fantastic. So you can. There are attainable pencils by Alex Ross. It's usually his prelims to his paintings, and they're fantastic. His pencils are so tight. I would love painting, but his pencils are incredible.
I have one of his comic book covers that he does the paintings. You know how he does it? He'll paint the comic. I have, and that ran me about that. Hang on, I'll get it for you. That ran me about 2 yards for that, and it's. I was like, damn, but I paid for it. I wanted it, but I got it.
His stuff's expensive. I'm impressed you got something that like a commission because it's hard to get him at shows and stuff.
Where's the best place like to try to get like obtainable pieces? Like, where do you go looking for them?
So it's comicartfans.com. That's a big community. Oh, damn. That's fantastic.
Load that up. Yeah.
I like that cover. Yeah, it's a cool cover of the Wolverine.
Wow.
And
that is
every once in a while he'll have a sale. Now the Marvel stuff. This is what I find peculiar.
I'm sorry, Stu. Did you say 200 or $2,000 for that?
2 yards. 200. That's 2 yards.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing I don't understand.
Your mic cut out. I didn't hear you.
With Alex Ross. Yeah. Is the Marvel stuff is always like obtainable. Like the price, you'd be like, all right, I could pay 200 for that. They even have a sale. But the DC stuff is usually through the roof. I've never understood that with him or why.
He's super famous for his
Superman,
Justice League.
Superman,
the Kingdom Come stuff.
Yes, JSA, Shazam. He did a lot of Shazam stuff. I actually have a painting by him. I don't know. You've probably seen it. They'll make these posters, but they're actually paintings, and they're on these, and it's like gloss. Yes, I have one by him, by Alex Ross. He had a sale, and I got a Shazam. It's a Shazam painting. It's rolled up, so I can't really show it to you because it's still rolled up. I don't even want to take it out until I frame it. But I had to choose between that and Black Adam. But the Captain Marvel was the cheaper one. I was like, I can afford this one. But the Black Adam one, it's got Black Adam sitting like he's sitting in the chair and he's like kind of slumped down.
Yeah.
And like he's like, and bruh.
I would have had to splurge too. I would have had to splurge that little extra, man. That like,
I had a scratch at the time. I barely I barely had the money. I just put it on a credit card. I barely had the money for the Captain Marvel. I could have got it, but I just
have some push pins put up on the wall. You're good.
Yeah. It's funny when you find that the retro stuff, the posters and all like Third Eye was a big one back in the 60s and 70s. They did all the black light posters. And most of them you find they're just all punch holed the shit. Like it's
Yeah.
just like, God damn it! Why didn't you?
I was in New York this past weekend for a funeral, and Saturday after the service and everything, every time I go somewhere, I got to find local shops. So I went to one in Albany, New York, and I walk in, I'm looking around, I look up on the wall, and there's a old, I don't remember what issue of Fuma came out of, but it's a Steranko piece, just up like in a little frame up on the wall, like hanging out of the frame, like those cheap Walmart ones with like you just across the sides, and like the bottom came out and it's like slipping out. And it had like this tear over the top, and I was just like, "Are you guys willing to sell that? Because you don't fucking deserve it." I'm like, "Can I just take it home?" And like the person I was working, it was like, "Oh, I don't know if that's for sale. I don't even know like how I would take it off the wall." I'm like, "You just go, whoop, here you go, take it to a good home."
Yeah,
but it broke my heart to see. I hate seeing nice old pieces of work like that, well, just torn to shit and not taken care of.
Yeah. Is there a piece now? Is there a piece that you don't have, but you gotta have it? It's like that. It's like that Infinity Stone for you. Is there an Infinity Stone piece out there for you?
Oh, dude, Jim Lee X-Men. Jim Lee X-Men has eluded me my entire life. I've been trying to get a Jim Lee X-Men piece in the collection.
Like a cover page or just like any page?
Anything from his Uncanny X-Men. His stuff is so expensive, man. Like, if you want a page by Jim Lee, that's an X-Men page. You are at least $25,000.
Oh, sheesh.
Card artwork. His card artwork.
If we can find one
from the Impulse set, the original X-Men card art will sell from like $6,000 to $12,000 or more.
Yeah,
on character.
That card art is.
That's what I'm
only one.
I
own one sketch. I own one sketch by Jim Lee. One. That's it.
I do have a piece by him, though, that you guys will like. It's just not X-Men.
But it's one of those, if you're able to obtain it, it's only going to increase in value. You can keep that shit for years. And
here comes the Jim Lee Punisher, y'all.
Now, I'm a big fan of the Punisher.
It's just not X-Men.
Yeah, it's Jim Lee, though.
I'm a big fan of Punisher. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Punisher.
Punisher War Journal 9 from 1989. It's okay. The main piece is on the left. So that's what matters. Is that?
Yeah. Look at that.
Wow,
that is incredible, man. Look at that.
So a cool thing about this page is Jim Lee did both the pencils and the inks, so it's all Jim.
Oh wow.
That white paint and stuff, that's all him. The razor marks, because they do like those lines, some of them are done using razors and stuff like that. Some cool techniques. A fun fact about this page is Jim actually put it up in the late 90s, or may have been mid 90s at it was a game. Like you could it was like something they were doing. We put it up for this game that they were doing, and the winner of the game got the page. So the page has actually never been sold before until I got it. The first person who got it was the person who won it in the 90s. Then it changed hands and he traded it to somebody. And then a friend of my buddy traded for it. And then he traded it to my friend, and then he sold it to me years later. So it took about it changed a few times, but the first time it was ever actually sold was to me.
That's a cool story though. Like
that is a cool story.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's something to hear. Yeah.
It was like a game that they did. Then someone won the contest and got the page in the mid 90s, and then it found its way to me over time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad it's still in good condition. Being how many hands it changed, and you never know. Yeah.
It's interesting with the comic book artwork. It's people keep it in good condition. It's rare you find stuff beaten to shit.
It's not like a comic book that they're reading and fucking around, rolling up and throwing in their pocket and none of that shit.
What you will find, so you see where the writing is on this one. It doesn't look like they're paste up. So usually they're what's called a paste up, and they actually would the letterist would write on a separate piece that they would cut out and then paste the word bubbles onto the page. Like when you said you liked the brown,
Paste up right there.
Yeah, a lot of them they saw earlier, the one with Magneto and Dr. Doom. That's all paste up.
See, the best thing about that is that is just so old school,
right?
Shit you don't see before, and it just
not
brings
digital.
a different time.
Exactly. So like,
Yeah, 'cause now it's all digital and shit.
it always is incredible to me of the guys who could do it without the paste ups, where they just drew directly onto the artwork like this. Like
Mhm.
those ones are always super nuts. But what's cool in the art community is like the paste ups, the glue will degrade, and sometimes the paste ups will fall off the artwork, and it does not hurt the value of the art. That's something that's a normal occurrence in the art world, so they don't usually ding you value wise.
Now, will they slip off? Like if you have it framed, like they might like come detached, but does it kind of stay where?
It's possible. It depends on if the glue had too much oxidation. If the glue was done properly, it should stay on with no yellowing or anything and be fine. But if there's too much oxidation, the glue will fail over time and it'll fall off the artwork. I'll give you an example of when that happens. You'll see stuff like this on artwork. You'll end up seeing like you see that yellow, those yellow spots in the top left.
Yeah, in the middle right there. Yeah,
that's how it used to be. So it was there on the artwork and you could read it, but then over time it degraded and fell off.
Now it's just like
Right.
Yeah,
And that's like where they put the speech bubbles and shit.
exactly.
Right.
So like
Yeah,
we don't
I still find that wonderful though. Like just that history though.
Oh
Yeah,
like,
bro.
this
Yeah.
amazing artwork is something I find fascinating.
Yep.
Like the digital today isn't like I'm not as interested in it because the process just isn't the same. So like I'm not as interested in the digital artwork. They do this thing now though, which is kind of cool. They call them artist proofs. And so like let's say Mike Mayhew, for example, who does a lot of digital artwork, or Tyler Kirkham. They still do a lot of ink and pencil and all that. But let's say they do a piece that's all digital.
John Jang.
Yeah, and like let's say you want to own that piece, they will do a 1-of-1 print of that page, and then you're the only one that ever gets the print. No one else owns that print. It's not the original artwork because there is no technically original artwork. It's all in the
They kind of create it for just to have
You'll get like a print of it, but then they like destroy it. Like there's no like that's off the list. No one else will ever own that print. They'll never sell it at a con. They'll never duplicate it again. It's a 1-of-1.
Wow.
Feel you, Slade. Feel you.
Let me ask you this, and I'm sure Reno's going to have no surprise on my question here. What do you think about Peach Momoko? And do you have any original pieces of her?
I don't.
I knew it was coming
because she's absolutely exploded. Her artwork is beautiful. It's very original and different. I love her watercolor work, especially.
Yeah. It's a watercolor style.
She is someone I wish I owned a piece by. I don't have a ton of modern pieces in general.
No.
You mostly go for 90s stuff?
Yeah, I'm mostly going for 90s stuff. I do have a Clayton Crane painting. So that is something I do have. It's not a huge painting, but it's of Strife. I can show that to you guys.
Oh, that's Crane did that? Okay. Yeah, no, I saw that on your page. Yeah, it's Strife painting.
Yeah, so
Clayton Crane, I don't know, man. Sometimes I like his stuff. It's hit or miss to me. Like I wasn't crazy about how he did the Infinity.
That is a hit right there.
That's
nice.
peak.
yeah,
That's beautiful. That's
that's an actual painting, not like a print or anything, right?
No, yeah, this is an actual painting on canvas.
Oh wow!
He signed
Yep,
sorry.
there's his signature.
He's got the
badass.
picture in the corner there. It's from 2009. I got it.
Right.
Wow.
Man, that's what I'm talking about.
So
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, if you're gonna collect art, you don't have to collect
what you like. Yeah, collect
roses
what you
and
like.
fruit baskets. You could collect.
He uses a lot of paint pens, so that's how he does his detailing.
Yeah.
So you can see that that's his work
Yeah,
is
he does.
with paint pens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying
Yeah,
to
he
That
does.
is
He
phenomenal.
likes to. Yeah.
That is phenomenal, man.
There is one piece I should probably show you guys for sure before we're done with the interview.
Show everything.
Yeah, we want to see it all.
Yeah,
We We nerd out on this channel.
Yes, sir.
Most people would say this is probably the best piece in my collection, but it's just not my favorite piece. So
Okay.
it's hard to like. You can't not love the piece. Like it's hard to beat this piece. So this is by Andy Kubert from the famed X-Men 25.
Gambit.
You got Gambit, Cyclops,
Rogue.
Details in there.
Look at that.
Layer off there.
That is awesome.
So is the piece like would it have value if say it had like the whole team on one page?
Oh, of course. This one has value because so Andy Kubert's huge. Just Andy and Adam and their father Joe, all big artists in the X-Men world. This is a big page because you get the big Cyclops piece. You don't get a lot of huge pieces, like huge shots like that. And it's from a really sought after book. X-Men 25 is just a huge book. It's part of the I always screw up the story arc. Fatal Attraction. That's one of my favorites. Fatal Attraction story arc where Magneto takes the adamantium out of Wolverine's body.
Yeah.
And the Kuberts are super famous for that story arc. Both Adam and Andy worked on it. This is the moment.
That comic.
This is the moment they realize Magneto's back and he's trying to do all his terrible stuff. And so this is them kind of doing the warning. We need to go after Magneto now. And so it has both the historical big artist and the characters. Like it's kind of it checks all the boxes for most people. Yeah.
You have any Andy Kubert? You have any Andy Kubert stuff?
Yeah, this is Andy.
No, this is...
Okay. I mean, like, well, I know that, but do you have any like, because I know when Jim Lee, like when he, Jim Lee was just a man, man. I can't even. I think he just blew all our minds when he came out. Besides Todd McFarlane, you got any Todd McFarlane in there anywhere?
I do. Let me grab him real quick.
Yeah, I know you.
You can hold this one up. This is Andy's brother Adam from the same story, not the same book, but the same story arc. It's also from the Fatal Attraction story arc.
Oh wow,
the big headshot is dope.
Yeah, that is dope. Look at that, bro. Look at the detail. That is
amazing.
I'm blown away, man.
I'm
blown away. I am totally 100%.
Got to get me one of those.
Yeah, I got to get me one of those too, Slade. Get me one of those too.
Yeah. Grab the bear claw. Yeah,
this is kind of gigantic.
I know. But that one has to be seen.
Yeah, this one's special.
Here, I'll get out of your way for that.
I feel like they're all special.
Oh yes. This
is
got the color.
This is about Joe.
Is that Joe Maria?
Is that Joe Maria? This is Andy and Adam's father, Joe
Kubert.
Wow.
The really cool thing about this piece is it used to hang on the walls at their school.
Oh, right.
Oh, you've been busy.
That is peak right there.
This was published in 1996 in a calendar that they did.
Now, speaking of Joe's, you got any Joe Maria? Any of his stuff?
Yeah.
He had more like he had a cartoonish style. I liked his style of art.
Let me grab the other Joe real quick.
Yeah, he did that. He did the what is it? What is it? Apocalypse. The Apocalypse. Where Wolverine had the one hand. What's the one Wolverine got his hand blown off? What is that? That's the
Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah, Age of Apocalypse. He did.
Look at that
art style he did for that. Dog. That, bro.
This is from Deadpool's first solo story, The Circle Chase. And so in this scene,
New Mutants 98.
Yeah, so this is going to be so you're going to see at the top there the plane exploding and Black Tom falling out.
Yep.
And then Juggernaut, without any of his armor and stuff on, is falling behind them. That's him yelling. And then you have Deadpool cord into the side of the plane to keep them all attached to the plane.
Now that's a P. Like okay.
That's a bit.
That's got to be a 10 grand.
Oh yeah, easily.
Probably more.
That's gotta be
I would
100
go everything less than 15.
Yeah, 12, 15. Wow, man.
Eat a Joe Mavs
Yeah.
certificate splash.
I'll give you $15 for it right now, no problem.
yeah, that's what he said. 15.
15. Now, Rob Liefeld, you got any of his stuff with X-Force? Any X-Force stuff?
Yeah,
with
that
Rob
was
Liefeld?
what we did Rob earlier, but I can bring him back up real quick just so everybody remembers that was the
Beautiful
that
stripe.
was the Strife piece.
Yeah. That's the lifestyle.
That is
Also
hard.
created by
That is
Field, like
Let me ask you a question. Do you think like
hard.
you have to have the right frame for each piece to really make it pop?
Mm.
I think so. I kind of pride myself in my frame.
I got to say, because pretty much every piece you brought out has a different frame, but it fits the piece just so nice.
Well,
It fits
yeah.
it right.
That's
I wanted to ask you, where did you get it framed? Right, yeah, I wanted to ask you, where did you get that frame?
So this actually is funny.
That's a good story.
I bought a piece from a buddy of mine. It was a Ken Lashley piece that I no longer own. I sold it, but I kept the frame because I really liked that frame.
All right.
So I ended up selling the Ken Lashley, and then the Strife piece was perfect for that frame. And I was like, there we go.
Mm-mm.
That Deadpool piece, that piece, it's got the red velvet around
The
it.
red velvet, black leather, bro.
And then you guys asked about Todd McFarlane. Now I don't have an X-Men by Todd, but I do have a Spawn.
Oh wow!
This is from Spawn 32. It's the first page.
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
You got
Collection.
you got pencils by Greg Capullo and inks and letters by Todd McFarlane.
Mm.
I would love a Greg Capullo Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would love that too.
It's
Yeah, I would love a
incredible.
Greg Capullo Batman. Yeah.
He's always got that thick ass neck and
Right.
like that nice monolithic kind of like build to him. I would
Now-
love to get a piece of that.
There's guys that are notorious for like Jim Lee. They don't have a lot of their prints aren't out there. And why is that? Do they they throw them away? They don't sell them. They keep them. Like why is it hard to get some artist stuff?
So more modern artists, so not as much Jim Lee, but more modern artists are keeping their work. So you'll have people like
Right.
Trad Moore, for example. Really hard to find Trad Moore published work now because he doesn't allow it sold anymore. He likes to keep it. More and more artists are doing that, understandably, because their work is valuable. Jim Lee, it's more people do not want to let it go.
Oh, okay. So they're out there. People have them, but that's it. They got them, and that's
There's a
it.
lot of Jim Lee X-Men.
They don't move around a lot.
Collections that just are never going to see the light of day.
Nice.
Unless they die.
Yeah.
Unless they die, you got to get it when they die.
Kids sell it, or
Estate sale.
That's what the estate.
It'll all go to auction and it'll sell for 50, 60, 80, 100,000. His stuff sells for
crazy.
6 figures all the time.
I bet.
Man.
Jesus.
I bet.
The
So
closest
what you're saying is Reno Stu, we got to get together and start robbing some banks.
Basically.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, something,
that's why I'm
man.
trying to get a piece of his with the Impel card arts, because that's the only stuff that's still in my price range, and it's still like 6 to 10, 6
Yeah.
to 15 grand, depending
It
on.
seems like there's not much out of your price range with the collection you have.
Man.
Stuff. Yeah, like
you'd have to let
I
go.
meant if I didn't want to let go of anything,
Yeah.
I'd have to
Fair enough, yeah.
put together a budget. But
Well, so your stuff is in the range of like around 15 grand, 12, 15, like 10, 12, 15 in this area. But there's guys that are dealing in 100,000s, 80,000.
dude, yeah, like Sam Keith covers.
Yeah.
Anything Sam Keith that's Marvel is gonna go for 25 or more. You have like even Wilch Portillo, certain pieces are gonna go for extreme amount, especially covers. Covers are gonna if it's an early Bishop cover, it could go up. I've seen some of them go $285,000. Like I've seen stuff go crazy. There's a lot of
Do any gold or silver age stuff exist? Like is that out there? Like
Oh,
gold
yeah.
age diamonds? Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is. It exists. It's
That's
not-
millions and shit,
Yeah,
right?
Like
another one that people like don't seem to like to let go.
Yeah, especially X-Men. So like you're not like if you want a Jack Kirby X-Men piece, you're spending $50K minimum.
Right.
If you want like I always wanted a Jack Kirby X-Men. I've never gotten close.
Oh, yeah.
The closest I ever got. I owned a Jack Kirby Eternals page for a while, and I owned a Jack Kirby Metron published piece, but both of those have been traded or sold. Or
I'd love a Jack Kirby piece.
Hell yeah, bro.
I would love a Jack Kirby piece.
Oh my god.
it was fun having.
I'd show that off. I
bet.
I really want.
I put that in my living room.
cover.
Yeah.
Comic show a couple weeks back. Like Metropolis Comics or Metropolis, whatever they are, they had a couple of big binders with a bunch of original artwork, and I'm carrying my baby and walking by, look, and it was I want to say it was a Superman piece, I think it was, and I happened to look down, they had little prices on it. I thought it said $120. I go, like, hold on, take the baby.
Yeah, right.
Nope, 12,000. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother looking at the rest of the shit.
Oh yeah, like especially if it's like Joe Stanton or if it's either of the creators, Siegel or Schuster or Swan, or I think it's Swanson, who's also super. There's some of those Golden Age guys. It's crazy how expensive their work will get.
I bet.
Like there isn't a lot of it that's outside of museums and stuff.
Right. I mean, you look at an Action Comics #1 selling for millions of dollars. That's a comic.
So yeah,
I saw this is what blows my mind. I saw an Action Comics comic. It's in a museum. It looked like the cover was in a fire, and it sold for $1 million. Like that was the very first one I ever saw. Because I
saw them sell a page out of that book, just a torn page, just with ads on it for $500.
Well, there aren't many of them. Just they don't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, a couple years back, I was bidding on a page from AF-15, and I was winning it at like $800-900. I'm like, kept drinking. I'm like, I got this. And then all of a sudden, it jumped up into like the tens of thousands. I'm like, well,
whoa!
I didn't even afford a damn page.
Somebody came over there and said, somebody came over there and said, you peons. Excuse me. Let me just hit the zero. Zero.
Yeah, let me add a zero on y'all. Cool.
Yeah, let me add a couple more zeros to you peons.
Although I did get warned that if I ever try to get close to that much to buy a page again, you're sleeping on the shed.
Yeah,
you definitely got to sneak that in the house.
If Spider-Man's your guy,
give it to me.
If Spider-Man's your guy, you might as well go for a John Romita Sr. piece. So John Romita Sr., there's a lot of his work. There's a lot of preliminary stuff. He did a lot of pencil prelim stuff. It's attainable. You can find it out there. Like it's still going to be cost you a couple thousand, but it's not. Steve Ditko, you'll never like. You got to hit the lottery to get a Steve Ditko Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, if you want,
what about Joe Kubert? You got any Joe Kubert stuff?
Yeah,
he just showed us. We just was talking. He just showed us him and his brothers and his sons all the Kubert.
Yeah, his brothers and his son. Yeah. No, I remember. No, I remember he said it.
He's been allowing me to come back to pieces and talk about it.
Man. Yeah. I'm glad he did. I'm glad he had it.
I just had to see it. I just had to see it one more time. That's all it was.
Okay.
I just had to see it one more time, man. It's such a beautiful. I love that, man. Look at that, man. It's just so beautiful, man. I just had to see it one more time, really, to be honest with you.
I love it. What I love about it is you really see where Andy and Adam got their style from.
Right.
Yeah, you do. You do. Yeah, you do.
So do you have insurance on all these pieces?
Oh, yeah. It's all insurance.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, he better. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Insurance.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you ever had a house fire, you could actually get one of those
I'll cry
Jim
for
Lee
you.
posters that you ever you just say skip it. I'm gonna get a Jim Lee. That's the first thing I'm getting when I get the insurance money. I'm just going for a Jim Lee.
Yeah. Just burn it off
you
for
can
a
go
page.
for Jim Lee right away. Right away you can go for a Jim Lee.
I'm finishing on getting the insurance for all my crop down here. I mean,
it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's worth doing. It's just,
I mean, I don't have any like original. I mean, except for that one Venom piece, any like original artworks like that. I got a few like drawings and a whole bunch of autograph crap. So
you never want that water damage or the fires, or you just don't want to have to think about it. So it's always nice to know that you're safe.
Get that piece.
yeah.
Exactly. Especially if you store stuff in a garage or anything on that's a ground level. Just
this is part of my basement down here.
Yeah,
so I've got water detectors. I've got humidity detectors, temp sensors. I've got the whole basement freaking bugged up on my phone. I can measure it at any time.
Nice, that's cool.
Yeah, so many terrible stories about like we had like a bomb cyclone of rain, and then like all my comics are gone. Like
recently we had a
bunch of people got flooded. Like if you had anything in their garage or whatever, it was just all water. That's
why there's nothing.
Yeah, my comics stay up on the second floor.
Yeah, I keep mine on the shelf. They're in my basement, but they high. If the water get that high, if the water get as high as my I deserve it. But I got them up. I got them up high. If the water ever get that high, I deserve it because it's.
If the water ever gets that high, your problems.
Right.
Matter of fact, if I know it's gonna get that high, I'm down there. I'm down there getting. I'm coming down to get them. If I know where it's even gonna get. I won't even play. I ain't playing no games. It took me a while to get. It took me a long time to get what I got.
So I know you guys said you liked how I did my frames.
Oh yeah, this frame.
So this is probably my coolest frame job. I got this professionally done. I didn't do this myself. But I think you guys will get out of this. Wow. It's from the Gambit Limited series.
Yeah.
So Gambit number 1. This is one of the final pages of the series when Gambit leaves the X-Men to go hunt down his brother's killer. And it's a great Wolverine page, too, because you get him sniffing and all his Wolverine shenanigans.
Oh, my God. That ace. Oh, my God.
I don't know what you were talking about earlier. That's your best piece, bro. That's the best shit I've ever seen in my life.
All right. Forget it. I'll give you $15 for that right now.
16.
Yeah, just get a good close up.
$16. Yeah.
So if you were to sell that piece framed like that, what do you think you would sell it for, or at least like try to starting bid? Hold on, let me get my bucket real quick. Hold on. Right, go ahead.
Man, I don't really want to let that one go, but if I had to, I'd say start at like 6. I'd say 10 grand. Yeah, it's not like it's not need to be 20, but I wouldn't want to let it go for anything less than that.
It's gorgeous.
Work
that is
especially framed like that. I think it definitely makes it worth that, hands down.
Oh yeah, the frame job is cool because I mean, obviously the whole Gambit thing with the card. I mean, that's just epic, bro.
Yeah, I go to a place.
Like my man Big Country said.
I'll plug my framing place. Unless I frame it myself, I go to a place called Cheap Pete's in San Francisco, and they do great work.
Yeah. Cheap Pete's in San Francisco.
I feel like they're not that
fly
cheap.
Out there, to come out to Cheap Pete's and get it done.
They're probably not that cheap.
They do great work.
Yeah.
Now here's a good question for you. Now we know Dave Cockrum created like Nightcrawler and all. You got anything by him and Nightcrawler?
Oh, Cockrum, I do have some Cockrum. Let me grab Cockrum.
Like that, because we know he was, he created some of the characters like Storm, Nightcrawler, and Colossus and them. Those are Nightcrawler was like when I was a kid. Nightcrawler was like when we first saw Nightcrawler, we were like, holy crap! Like we were like, look at that.
Ooh.
Here's a little piece by Dave Cockrum.
I love that. She gets part of me.
Magic and Lockheed.
Dude.
This was another find at a skate sale.
And that's just something he did probably fucking around, right?
Yeah, he inscribed it to his friend Dave. Second time's the charm. Thanks for looking after you know who. Dave Cockrum. So it was probably like watching his kid or watching his dog or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is freaking awesome.
What was cool is it was actually 3 pieces. There was another one with Kitty Pryde and Lockheed, and then a small head sketch of Nightcrawler. I bought the whole set years ago. I want to say at least 10 years ago for like $300.
What?
I sold Nightcrawler for $500. and I sold the Kitty Pryde for $800, and then I kept the Magic because it was my favorite of the three.
Do I even want to know what you would consider letting that go for?
I don't think I'm ever gonna.
Right
This one's probably gonna stay with me because
that's gonna get buried with me. Like,
yeah, it's so hard to find by Cockrum.
Yeah.
Right. And that's an original. Like, that's some personal shit. That's what's cool about it.
I thought it was cool because of where he inscribed that he's talking to somebody he knew.
Right.
And that was the kicker. And I love how he did Lockheed. I love when Lockheed's he's kind of got the what was the Muttley from
Oh yeah.
Going on. I love that. But throw out some more artists. If you have any people you want, I'll see if I got a Wilkes Portio. If you guys want to see actually this will be a cool one since Infinity Wars is big now. So
Bill Sienkiewicz.
Since we're all '90s guys.
Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yeah, Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yeah.
I have had stuff by Bill. I had a great Bill Moon Knight page. It was a gorgeous page, but I gave it up. I traded it. I'm still working on adding an X-Men piece by him to the collection, but this is a fun one. This is a Ron Lim.
Yeah.
From the Infinity Wars story arc.
Dude.
A lot
guys, that's look at that, man.
Bro, that is
look at John Travolta in the bottom corner. Man. Wonder Man up there, Wolverine, fucking
Beast. They're talking. So in the Infinity War story arc in the comics, it's a bit different from the movie.
Yeah.
Adam Warlock sends these. They look like the characters, but they're kind of like doppelgangers. And there's like an Iron Man one, and Mr. Fantastic, a few other ones. And this is a bunch of the X-Men and other characters. Like, I don't know if this is really them. And like, have Wolverine like, I'm smelling them, and they don't smell right.
Yeah.
You have Daredevil like using his powers, like, but they sound right. And then you have Professor X and Jean talking like, can you read their minds and see if it's them or not? And he's like, it's their brainwaves. So unless Wolverine knows something we don't know, it's a cool page because you can kind of they're all having a conversation using their powers and stuff, and it's kind of fun.
Epic, man. That is awesome.
That is epic. Yeah, that is super epic. What about Paul Smith? You got anything by him? And
there's my guy.
And we all know that. What is it? X-Men. I think it's 173. I think that was like his most famous. You got any pages out of that book, fam?
What's up?
X-Men 173. Paul Smith.
Yeah, I'm grabbing some Paul Smith right now. Give me one moment.
I liked his style because it was more, to me, it was more classic. Like it was more like that classic X-Men. Yeah, see, like that right there, I love that. The detail.
It's also from the Fatal Attraction story arc. You get a big team shot at the top, and then all Magneto for the rest of the day. So this is the piece that I traded my Bill piece for. So I don't have the Bill Sienkiewicz Moon Knight anymore, but I'm much happier owning this. It's so hard to find Paul Smith X-Men.
Yeah, man.
What about any nice like George Perez or Neil Adams pieces?
I have the Neil Adams from the.
You got the Neil Adams, yeah.
The commission. I sadly do not have anything by Perez anymore. I have it by Perez, and I really don't have any DC in my collection anymore.
I was just gonna ask you that, man. I was gonna ask you if you had anything DC. But yeah, that's.
Oh, that is awesome!
Look at that. That is awesome. Yeah, that is.
It's at the top, and then I scanned it to Joe Rubenstein and the colors on the bottom.
Wow,
that's official, dog.
You got any X-Men and Frank Quietly and X-Men?
I don't. Quietly is one of the guys on my list, man. He's tough.
That's why I had to bring him up.
He's a hard one. I think you guys will get a kick out of. It's an early '90s piece.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you for this piece to show this, man. This I take it back. This is my favorite piece that you have. I saw this.
That's
is
clearly
by
that's
Jonathan
clearly my
Snyder
favorite.
III. It's a pinup that was published in X-Force Annual. I want to say number 3. It might be number 2. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But this is an awesome piece. I love Snyder's work. His work is super unique.
You got the Sentinel in the background, Domino, Cable of. Oh, bro, Cable is my favorite character.
I'm blown away right now. Not only am I blown away, I had to pick my tongue up off the floor.
Yeah. You and Slade both.
Yeah, Snyder's work.
My tongue is on the floor on that one, bro. Yeah,
and anything that has Domino with her helmet still is I'm always gonna go after because I love how her helmet was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he only had the helmet for a few years and they discontinued it. But yeah, this is a special one.
Really?
Yeah, she only wore the helmet for like a couple years, and then they stopped doing the helmet as often. You don't see her wearing it nearly as often after like 98.
Wow, man, that's
gorgeous. That's my favorite. That's my favorite personally.
There was one piece.
I know it might not be the most valuable, but that's my favorite.
This was another one that you wanted to see. This is by Ethan Van Sciver.
Oh yes, check this out, y'all. Krakoa, Era, Hickman, X-Men. Look at Professor X.
This was published in 2002 in Wizard Magazine.
Wow.
It's a smaller piece, but yeah, you got a lot of the Wolverine, the kind of the Frank Quietly style Wolverine. That's the closest I have to a Frank Quietly piece right now.
And
it's his team.
Dude, he's got Cerebro on, bro. You know what I thought? I didn't notice that Cerebro was connected, and I thought that was a Jonathan Hickman.
Quietly. Yeah, Quietly. This is very realistic.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
Quietly run.
Yeah, Quietly has a very realistic style.
Oh yeah, I want a piece by him so bad.
Yeah, his style is very realistic.
Besides Jim Lee, Quietly is the other top of my list because I want something by Sam. Yeah, it is.
I thought he was this. I thought it was this page,
bro, where it has the X on the front. I love that.
He just wears it, walks around with it.
Yeah. You know, I always thought that was better than the big room that he had to go in and then put the helmet on. And I always thought that was better. They did Cerebro like that.
I really like when he has the X on the helmet and everything.
Right, right. I thought that was way cooler.
That's
and more modern
because
now, you can shrink it down. You know, back in the day, I understand, but now, it's gotta be.
It's like everything gets smaller. You know, like computers used to be the size of a room, and now we carry them in our pockets. And this is Cerebro used to be a damn building, and now it's a helmet.
This was one other one. This was a commission that I had done. I think you guys will really, really enjoy this one. Hard to miss these characters.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Jim Starlin
shot me down.
Pencils in
it. Bruh, that is
one thing. Cosmic art I still have. So you got Silver Surfer, Warlock, and Captain Marvel in there.
I just met Sterling a couple weeks ago. Super nice guy,
dude. Yeah, he's like easily one.
I got him to sign my Infinity Gauntlet #1 and one of my Thanos Funko Pops. Super nice guy.
Hell yeah! No, he's.
But I found out because I was like, I really wish I would have brought a gold like Sharpie to have him sign it with. He's allergic to metallic paint.
Oh, interesting! I didn't know that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because he was talking about it. Because he even said like, "Oh, you know, this would look so much better in the gold." He has special ones that he brings on the road. He left them in the hotel.
To my viewers, man, y'all got to if you listen, man. The Infinity, Jim Starlin, the Infinity Finale, Infinity Revelation.
Great story arcs. There are a lot of
great fucking story arcs.
I'm a big fan of the trade paperbacks for reading. Like that's the way
for reading, yeah. Like over there on my bookshelf, I got novels and I got trade paperbacks. Comics are on the wall.
I don't usually break out the regular comics anymore much.
That's what I read. That's what I tell. Yeah, that's what I tell people to read. either do the graphic novels, or if you're sacrilegious, go digital. And
you know what? I'm gonna have to go digital. I'm gonna have to do it because I'm running out of space, and I'm gonna have to get more selective about what goes in the collection now because I'm just running out of space, man. I can't.
Dude, it's hard with a lot of
Yeah.
books.
Yeah,
you don't go digital, bro. You sell some stuff and you swap some stuff. You don't
That's
ever
what's
go
gonna
to
happen.
the dark
No,
side, bro.
that's what's gonna happen.
Hold
I'm
on,
gonna have to sell.
hold on,
No, I'm
Reno.
gonna sell and swap some stuff, but I'm gonna have to. But the
I'm
stuff
just
I'm
kidding.
gonna
I'm
bring
just
back
fucking
in.
with you. I read digital.
Well,
you're
I have-
right, 'cause
I have some
I
books.
gotta sell some stuff. I gotta swap, but the stuff I'm bringing has got to be strictly selective. Like it's got to be strictly,
I dig it.
particular.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's what I'm gonna have room for.
Giving
Hey, I
heart
drive
attacks,
one.
giving heart attacks out here.
Well, I have digital books because I'm on the road a lot for work, so I don't. Instead of bringing my books,
Yeah,
with me,
no.
we
Yeah,
drive.
no.
Yo,
I've
Slade is off the-
Comixology.
Slade-
I fuck
what's-
around. I fuck with Comixology.
What's
Slade's
Slade
over
say
here
about it?
dying.
Call me. He said, "Call me an ambulance." Damn.
Yeah, he on the floor. He's done.
Slade is off
He's
the
on the-
chain, bro.
He's on the floor.
Yo.
the artwork
Nah.
process. So
Fuck that.
Ken Stacy.
God.
So Ken Stacy, this is a really famous poster that he did on the left. It's an iconic poster. I'm never going to own the original of the painting, but I have the original preliminary drawing that he did in his red pencil. And so this is as close as I've gotten to a painting by Stacy, but I actually really love the prelim on this. His pencils are like pretty much. It's almost like owning the painting, in my opinion. It's not quite as detailed, but the painting would cost me like easily 10 grand or more. This cost me 500, and I got it in a trade.
Oh,
So it didn't
wow.
cost me anything.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
that-
preliminary stuff is worth grabbing if the other stuff is just unattainable. Like sometimes the prelims are almost just as good.
Wait, now what's that? What's a prelim versus a original drawing? What's that mean?
So what Ken did this drawing as a layout for his painting.
Oh, right, like a sketch before he paints.
Yeah, so he did this sketch,
Right.
and then he probably did something like silk screened it onto a canvas,
Yeah.
and
Right.
then his painting.
And then okay.
So this is the pencil work. So like just like how Alex Ross does his pencil work, then he'll do a painting. Ken Stacy did the same thing, and so this is as close as I've gotten to an original painting by him. This is getting the pencils.
Okay. So a prelim isn't a comic book page or something.
No, prelim is
Okay.
just
It's for a painting.
prior to doing the main work. So it's usually like a rough
Posters,
idea
covers, shit like
Yeah.
that.
or detailed pieces like this, and it's a pretty good piece of artwork, even though it's a preliminary piece.
Right. Hell yeah.
Mm.
That's a
Just
good
to give you
good way to get into it, guys. If you're interested to get into this hobby, man, these are some ways to affordably, get started. Because nobody wants to jump into something paying, $5 grand for something. Nobody's getting into it like that. But you want to get into it paying a couple of $100, man, you can. And
Unless you
I mean, listen, I might not get into it. I'm not gonna get into it like you guys, but to have a piece or two or three in my man cave, yeah, bro.
There's
Like
tiers.
man,
Yeah, bro, yeah.
yeah, that's it. That's all you gotta do.
I just need enough to show off. I'm like,
That's
yes,
it.
I got this from
I started small.
Alex Ross.
Okay,
I
okay.
started small, just small convention pieces like John Beatty and like this was one my brother got me, but again, like a Joe Rubenstein Gambit.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
neat.
like, and it's still dope. Like
It's
this
still
is
cool.
$100
Hell
bucks.
yeah.
Like it's not.
Yeah, it's some of like
That's yeah, but that's badass. Hell yeah.
And then there's something like this.
Mm. Mm.
This is a
Wow.
double page splash of Storm by John Romita Jr.
My God.
So this is a fun one.
My God.
Yeah, it's hard to find pieces like this where you have one character on 2 full pages. Like
Right.
it's massive.
Oh,
Like,
that's too.
it's like bigger than my head, her body. Like
yeah.
Wow.
yeah, this is another one of my favorites. You just don't see it that often with a double page splash like this.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites of yours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard, right? You're understanding why my predicament of trying to.
Oh
pick-
yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah. That's why I'm like, okay, now that one's my favorite. No, that one's my favorite. No, that's my favorite. That's what's going on.
Yeah,
I
I
understand.
can't. Yeah, I couldn't pick just one.
That's
I
why I
couldn't
don't.
pick just
I'm not someone who's gonna double up on. Oh, that's tight. Someone do original
we got?
horror Funko.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh,
Texera,
nice. I
Texera.
like that.
Yeah, Mark Teixeira.
That's cool. I like seeing when they do it
I
on.
really like that.
I don't remember who the artist on this. This was a birthday gift last year, but
Okay.
That's nice.
That's tight.
Nice. Yeah.
I like the blank comics, man. The blank
pieces.
comic convention pieces are always fun.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Have them remarked up.
I'm starting to run out of pieces to pull off the wall.
We want to see them
No,
all.
you're
We
good,
want
man.
to see them all. Yes.
You're good. We normally kind of at this point in the show we start, we talk about whatever we talk about, but
Oh yeah.
you are welcome to keep pulling out the goods, man. We are
Yes,
not
sir.
gonna stop you.
We are blown away right now.
So where are these pieces located so we can keep them protected?
Right, yeah. How exactly do we get there?
Yes, just in case we need to send the X-Men to help you protect them.
Yeah, that's
Just
the
let us
ticket.
know.
So this is a fun one. This is by Dave DeVries. He's a big Marvel card artist.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So on the left, or my left, so on the left side, the bigger piece, that's the actual painting for the card by DeVries. And then the
Right.
smaller piece is the actual card that was in the packs when we would buy them in the 90s.
That's
Right.
awesome.
Dude.
So that's, I know we talked about card art earlier. So this is an actual one where I got the actual published piece and not the preliminary or anything. That's the actual painting for the card.
So how often can you come across those?
Not easy. I only have one Magneto card, and it's right here. I'd love to have more. They, especially the actual paintings. It's hard to come across. You'll find them here and there, like the Impulse set that Jim Lee did aren't paintings; they're all pencil and ink. But a lot more of the card artwork is painting. Like Joe Jusko is a huge example of the card art world. He's probably the most famous.
Yeah, Jusko is bananas.
But then there's guys like DeVries. There's a lot of great card artists. Ken Stacey is a great card artist. The Hildebrandt brothers. Greg. I always forget the other brother's name is Greg, and then the other brother.
Yeah. Master, remember the Jusko comic covers that came out like a year ago or something like that? That whole collection of all the Juskos, all the cards, they put them on comics. Remember that series?
That was a cool.
We were selling them, man.
I love when they do art with a card art piece. They did that with Jim Lee as well. They did a bunch of his card art covers.
That's brilliant.
So this is a Wilch Portillo full splash for Uncanny X-Men 289.
That's
the
cool.
last page of the. This is a fun one. So it's Wilch Portillo and Scott Williams inks. I wanted to show this one because you can't have 90s X-Men without having some Scott Williams inks.
Yeah, that's
Definitely
awesome.
can't.
So this is the only piece of Scott Williams published ink work that I have, but it's a fun piece. And they're coming out of Bobby Drake and his family. Iceman's in trouble. So that's another fun piece.
That is phenomenal, man. That is phenomenal.
Pieces, bro. It's just
one of the
cream green.
So these two, you guys will probably be pretty excited about. So I don't get these very often. It's rare to find promotional artwork. So before the comic run comes out or the story arc comes out, you'll see artwork that they do for promo purposes.
Okay.
And I was lucky enough to get this piece by Billy Tan. It's promotional artwork for one of my favorite story arcs, the Messiah Complex.
Yes, bro. That is definitely that's one of my top favorite story arcs, bro.
Yeah, and so this one's one of my favorite pieces as well. Just
That
everyone's in the cemetery, and It's a big Mr. Sinister story arc, and I love how Mr. Sinister's in the background in this piece, and it's the only piece of promotional artwork I own, so it's a special piece.
Did I say that was my favorite piece of yours? Man,
One
Complex.
Wow.
Yeah, a Second Coming.
I gotta ask, do you still have that Stan Lee Spider-Man piece from film?
It's the next one.
Oh my god,
I
need
do.
that. I need
So yeah, man.
This one will never leave the collection either. So
right.
The one for me.
All right, do me a favor. Can you put it in your will that it goes to me?
No problem. Happy to do that.
That is.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Stan Lee fan. I met him in Boston. He signed my arm.
Oh,
I got it tattooed over.
Yeah.
So, and then I've got
the coolest thing I've seen.
Yeah. I was
to sign your arm and then they tattooed it.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is amazing.
So I've got a whole bunch of I've got a section of my nerd cave dedicated to Stan Lee that's going to grow eventually.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of Stan Lee signed comics.
Well, if either of you ever in San Francisco, we'll get together. You guys can see some of this in person.
Oh yeah, man.
I would love that.
But
if we ever get out that way, because we are planning. I mean, we are going to try to do well. I don't know, maybe San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, Ty,
we got to do. Yeah, we got to do one. We got to go. Yeah, we got to go.
Got to get out there. Yeah, because we're on the East Coast. I'm in Virginia, and Stu's in Jersey, and he's in New Hampshire, so we're over here.
Well, maybe if you guys do San Diego Comic-Con, come up to SF afterwards and check out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, man.
Actually, I just found out 2 months from today I'm going to be in Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hit me up. Let me know.
I'm going to meet Kevin Smith.
Oh, dude, hell yeah!
That's dope.
Yeah, that means you'll be about 40 minutes away from me. About 30, 40 minutes.
Kevin Smith?
It's a early Father's Day gift. He's doing a signing with Brian O'Halloran at the Stash.
Dude,
I was going to say, are you going to his shop or no?
Yeah.
The Stash.
So real quick, sorry. So last year, the wife surprised me, picked me up after I finished my 24-hour shift, and her and I and my daughter went down to New Jersey. She didn't tell me oh, Kevin Smith's doing a signing. She didn't know you had to buy a ticket to get in, like a block pass. Right. So we're standing in line to have the guy, as soon as we get up to the door, it was like, oh, what's your ticket? And she's like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't get in. So she,
right.
Shit. And I was like, no, it's fine. After 3:00, we can go into the new shop, We still made a good day out of it, but she felt so bad. I'm like, oh God. Because I just worked all night. And then she was like, oh, super good surprise. So,
but now she got you the ticket.
Yep. Yeah, this time we got the ticket.
Got the ticket now. Okay. All right. She had to make up for that.
Nice. Make up for that. Man, that's cool, man. The Stash. Method Man was on the Stash. Method Man came on there and was talking about, he's got 30,000 comics, bro. That's a serious collection.
He's super into it. They're real.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Him, DMC.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's got his own comics. Yeah.
Have you guys checked out Ed Piskor much?
Oh yeah, he's been on our show. He's been on the show.
Oh, okay, because he's super into the hip hop.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's why we had him on, because he did the hip hop family tree, and we had him talking about that. Yeah, definitely.
So cool.
That's our, sixth element of hip hop. It's all about hip hop and comic books, and hip hop has 5 elements, but the 6th element of hip hop is comic books, because comics have always been a big part of hip hop.
I was hoping the name that. I was like, okay, this
is comics. That's right.
Got a little piece of Piskor history.
Dude.
From the corner box artwork.
Yep.
And then I got it signed by Art Adams underneath the Wolverine, since that's the basis. It's based on Art Adams poster artwork for a Wolverine piece.
Right.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I feel like I cut you off. So did Stan Lee do that Spider-Man drawing?
Yes. So I got to meet Stan twice in my life, once in 2012 and once in 2017 before he died.
I was there the second time.
Yeah, he got to meet at Silicon Valley Comic-Con. Was the second time. I met him at SD Comic-Con in 2012. He did the sketch in 2012. It's a funny story behind that. I was trying to think of what to have him sign, and I happened upon this Spider-Man children's book. Paging through it and noticed that it had this really cool spider design, like
Dude.
and like some of them were blank in the first area, and I ripped one out and took
Wow.
it. He did the picture on. And then in 2017, when I met him, this was a special one for me because I had come across a collection of Foom memorabilia, and inside it was a blank Foom card, membership card, which you don't find fairly often as blank ones. Usually, if you find them in the wild, they're signed by someone who owned it at one point. Right. So I held on to it until I got a chance to meet Stan again, which was in 2017. And I had him sign the Foom card. And then just framed them together.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It was too bad. In 2017, he wasn't himself really anymore.
Yeah.
Where it was mostly
they kind of wheeled him out and just had him sign shit. Yeah.
So I felt badly about that side, but I was really lucky to meet him at a time where he was still with it in 2012 and was still able to have conversations and stuff. So that was
hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
So the first time I met him, when I had him sign my arm, I happened to come across this at the show for like $40.
Oh,
I was
my
like,
God.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, dude, his anything signed by him, like, nab that.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not making any more.
It's a black.
No, so these are two that like I'll never get rid of because my the first time I met him, you know, it was my daughter, my oldest daughter's first Comic-Con, and then the first time my now wife had ever been. She didn't know anything about comics and like had no interest. I was like, hey, we're gonna go to Boston, go to Comic-Con, and I told her like, you know, we're going to meet Stan Lee, and she's like, who? I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work out.
Who? What? Oh, no.
Yeah, they're like, Stanley, what's his last name? Like,
yeah. But like in her, she had never been exposed to comic before she met me, and then she was like, all right, how old are you again?
Right.
So
and then you got to break it down. Yeah,
you got to tell them I'm old enough to buy the comics on the wall.
Yeah, behind the counter.
I'm old enough to say, give me that one right there on the wall behind the counter. Yeah, that's how old I am.
Yeah, like it had always been like a dream of mine.
Yeah, because the kids don't buy those books.
Yeah,
nah, kids ain't buying those.
I hope not.
It was so great to meet him, and like you said, come towards later on, he wasn't the same person that he used to be.
Right.
Yeah,
but you know, still getting to talk to him. You know, when he signed my arm, he was like, "Oh my God, I love the artwork." Da 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 da. And it was great talking to him a little bit the first time. Then the following year, when he came back to Boston, was really when he started going downhill. He wasn't really talking as much.
Yeah, it was really too bad.
But you know, he's still that guy that like I grew up looking up to and everything. So to get the chance to meet him, it just made my life, you know, meaningful. Just, you know.
Oh, dude, I'm right there with you. Like, he was a special person. He helped us all get through childhood.
Oh,
yeah. No, he did. He seriously did. Right. I cannot disagree with that.
Like, I love his cameos in all the Kevin Smith movies, like in Mallrats and stuff. Like,
I loved him in Mallrats.
That was the best, bro.
Like, that's one of my favorite Stan Lee moments. It's just like, you really get to see where he got the ideas from. Like, I was in love with women, and I was happy at one point, and then angry at another point, and that's like where I got the idea for the Hulk, and like I love that stuff in general. Yeah. The best person I've ever gotten to speak to in the comic world is Mike Royer. Mike Royer is in his 90s, but the guy he's a cancer survivor, and the dude still has all his faculties, and he's the best. If you ever get a chance at a con, talk to Mike Royer, because he was one of Jack Kirby's main anchors, and he has the more stories than anyone. Like, he has seen everything. He's still alive. He's seen everything.
Yeah.
So he's worked with Jack. He's worked with Stan. He's worked with Ditko. He's worked with everyone you could think. You name an artist, he has probably worked with them. And he's the person to talk to. More knowledge than anyone. he'll tell you more bullpen stories about like random artists, and like he'll be talking about someone. You'll be like, but that's this guy. He's like, yeah, he was a kid when I was there.
That's awesome. It's so sad that like the original
awesome,
bullpen
man.
and all that, you know, they're slowly moving on to the next story in life, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Just all that good old school stuff is just starting to slip away more and more.
Yeah, the last few years, man, they've been dropping like flies between Neil and even some of the young guys like Carlos Pacheco. I did not expect that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh man.
No, nobody did. Yeah, nobody did. Yeah, I don't think anybody.
There was like for a moment there, I was, what's going on? Like George Perez, like there were so many of them dying. I was like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
It
was like back to back to back.
Yeah, it seemed like every other week I was getting news.
Yeah, for a second there, yeah.
I was gonna say Perez and
they were just going.
Neil Adams, they were what, weeks apart, maybe like a month or something like that.
And they were both in like their 80s. Like when Tim Sale died, I was like, what is going on? I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
Late 50s, maybe, I think. Like it didn't make any sense. I was just like, terrible. I love Batman Long Halloween. That was one of my favorite Batman story arcs of all time.
Absolutely.
Have you watched like the animated movie of it?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
I mean, that's what they based some of the Batman off of, the Matt Reeves.
Oh, yeah. And they recently remastered all of the Batman the Animated Series. So they remastered that. It's fantastic.
I love that.
I can't wait to get them. I want to get them on Blu-ray.
Talking about rebooting them. Yeah, they're doing the reboot. We're waiting for the reboot.
They're doing a reboot for them.
Or not a reboot, a continuation. Continuation.
They need to. It's continuation of Batman and Robin.
Yeah, X-Men animated series. They're continuing it. They're doing another season. Yeah.
They're doing Batman too, because remember it went from Batman the animated series to Batman and Robin. They're doing.
Yeah,
they're gonna do Batman and Robin too.
I've been watching a lot of the animated stuff lately. The
Batman Forever was on.
There's a really good one on Disney Plus for the Avengers. I think it's just Avengers: Earth Mightiest Heroes or something like that. They fight Kang.
Yes.
One of the best Kang. One of the best Kang.
Right?
The shows I've seen in a minute. It was really well done. So I've been trying to get back into watching more of the animated stuff, but Invincible is probably my favorite animated comic book show of recent.
Oh, bro. Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't watched Invincible?
No.
Wait, we talked about
Prime, dog.
You're in for a treat.
Yeah,
bro. You're lucky, man. You're lucky.
It's been on my list,
dude. The list needs to stop wasting time. Do yourself a favor and
you can't all that in the background and talk and didn't watch it.
I don't have.
You're not doing comics right, bro.
Yeah, you
can't give me that much crap. I have nothing invincible. I don't think.
But you have to. Watch.
Yeah,
you're not doing comics.
I'll start it soon.
I was going.
Take it from Reno. You have to watch Invincible tonight.
You got to watch Invincible. Yes, you do.
Well,
tonight.
I have to catch up on what is it?
Like soon as we're done.
Series first, I guess. So.
On what?
Who?
I'm kidding.
Twilight.
Oh,
that can wait. Twilight can wait. Listen, you can be a vampire another day.
Team Edward tomorrow.
Yeah, you can go outside and glitter in the sun another day. But you gotta watch Invincible. You got to watch Invincible.
Glitter in the sun.
All right,
man.
I've been rewatching Smallville, so I'll put that on pause and jump over.
On pause.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, if you're rewatching Smallville,
if Smallville ain't going nowhere, you gotta watch Invincible.
Yeah, you go fly through it. It takes no time.
I'll start on it tonight.
Listen, it really is great. It really is fucking.
It is great, man. You know what, Masha? I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't think it was gonna be as good as it was when I heard him say it was coming out, and I watched the first episode, and I was like, "Damn, this is all right." Second episode, I was like, "Damn." Third episode, I was like, fourth episode, I was like, "Man, give me more." Then I was like, "Look, I gotta get as much of this as I can."
It makes you a professional artist, bro. I just saw someone's comment that they said,
yeah,
awesome.
No, I feel you. When I first saw Invincible's trailer, I was thinking the same as you, but it blew me out of the water. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, blew right out.
It really.
One
I
of
mean,
the-
it's really accurate to the comic.
Yeah.
The source material really accurate. I mean, yeah, they changed some stuff that annoyingly, I admit, but not to the point that it bothers it at all. And if you're not like a big, super, completist or into the comic, you're gonna love it, dude.
Yeah, they nailed
Really.
it. And it's a
Yeah.
lot of fun because you can see where like Otley and company kind of found all their, like, they're kind of making fun of some of the heroes here and there, like
Robert Kirkman.
Aquaman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, really?
you see where they're parodying some people, and it's really
Yeah, you didn't know that, Master?
No.
It's Robert
Yeah, that's
Kirkman.
Robert Kirkman. Yeah, that's Robert Kirkman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
did Invincible?
that's the name I was trying to.
Invincible
did
is Robert
Invincible.
Kirkman. Yeah.
Yes,
Is
he
it
did.
really? No
Yes, he
shit.
did.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Now I'm gonna start watching that shit right now.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, it's-
we got your
it's-
antenna raised now. Now your antenna is up. Now you're like, oh,
Kirkman at his finest,
You
bro.
guys know I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, so
Yeah. It's Kirkman.
that's
at
why
his
we were like,
finest.
that's why we were like, you wait a minute, you didn't watch Invincible?
I didn't know that was Robert Kirkman. If I would
Oh
know
wow.
watching it from the
Sir,
beginning.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
You will not be
Yes.
disappointed. As a matter of fact, he had something to do with the making of the show. So you know it's good.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Which,
I mean,
because
he
when
wrote
we
the
did,
comics.
because when we
He
did The
wrote the
Walking
comics.
Dead, yeah, because we did The Walking Dead, you got to admit some of the characters, the way they portrayed them on TV, were annoying, and we didn't like them as much as we did in the comic book.
Andrea, 100%.
Andrea's 100%. What's my man name? Yando. Yondu that played Yondu that was in The Walking Dead.
Merle Dixon.
Merle Dixon.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't even in the comic. Merle and Daryl
Yeah.
weren't in the comics.
Merle and Daryl,
Mhm.
right, they weren't in the comics, but
No,
Merle, Daryl was specifically made for the show, and they said that Daryl would never die. That he
Mhm.
could never die because he was specifically, and they killed Merle, and a lot of people liked it Merle more than they liked Daryl. So
Well, so 3 years ago, I met Norman Reedus in New Jersey at the Walker Stalker Con, and was talking to him about the character, and he was talking about how when he first started it, like after like getting into season 2, they weren't 100% sure like where the direction was going to go. He was one of the characters they just created to kind of fluff up the show a little bit,
Right.
but because he became such like a fan favorite, they were like, "Yeah, you got to stay. You can't fucking die. You can't go. You can't leave the show. You're done. Here's a blank check. Write what you want, kind of thing." So,
What do you want per episode? We'll give it to you.
Yeah.
and even like just from talking to him, he was like blown away that like he was like, I didn't think it was going to turn really into anything. And then all of a sudden he goes, everybody forgets about everything else I've ever done. I'm Daryl Dixon. That's it.
Yeah.
He had made a joke. He was like, I can do the worst like knockoff porn movie and nobody would even know because I'm Daryl Dixon. That's it.
Yeah.
He's
It's always going to be Daryl Dixon. He's always going to be Daryl Dixon. He'll never be nothing else. Now Shane in the comic I like more than his counterpart on TV. Shane was off the chizzy in the comic.
Yeah. I think Tom Hartnell did a great job, but yeah, I think the comic version a little bit more.
Yeah, I like the comic version. Yeah, Lori was another one, and then but the spin they had to put on that because remember Shane raped Lori. And I guess they couldn't really, you can't really put that out there like that, on TV because I don't know how everybody's gonna react to that. But that was, and then remember Rick when he killed him, Rick drove all the way back like 3 hours just to shoot him in the head. And Rick was like, yo, Rick was like, you know what, he ain't really dead. Hold up, let me go back. Like I gotta go back. I gotta go back and kill this joke. So it's the comic was this, and then Negan. Everybody hates the fact that they won't kill Negan. Like he was like Negan will never die. Can't kill Negan.
You know what? Comic and the show, like he had one of the best story arcs, like the character development and everything, and
yeah.
But what's funny though is so if you read here's Negan, like a little one shot that was like Negan's backstory.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have started the show, like if they would have created a second, like a parallel show and started it from his perspective, it's almost, you like to think, okay, who would be the hero, who would be the villain? And I think that's one of the best things, like writing wise and everything, that like they could have done in comics, is you have this guy who, when he gets introduced, you absolutely hate him as a villain, but he's so charismatic and he's got like such a, just something about him that you're like, all right, I want to know more about this guy. And they could have flipped the script and they could have done the show from either side, and it would have made you look at everything completely different. They say one man's hero is another man's villain. So it's like that's some like writing and really like putting a whole lot of thought into characters that they just don't do as much anymore in certain aspects, I think.
Yeah.
He definitely nailed it with that series.
Yes, he did.
He's a special writer. He's really one of the best
I love
right now.
relatable villains.
Remember Tyrese? Remember Tyrese? Tyrese was another good character in
Mm-hmm.
The Walking Dead in the comic. Remember they were in the prison and Tyrese, they were in the gym and Tyrese just shut the door. Was like, I got this. Came out.
I got to show up.
But he was. Yeah, came out bloodied up, but he came out.
This is all The Walking Dead. Oh, he's even got a little Lucille.
I got two. Yeah, I got one signed by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, one signed by Michael Chiklis, and on the side he wrote "Suck My Nuts."
Ah,
Nice.
that's fantastic. Yeah, Lucille's almost her own character. I love that about the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
I've got almost every character autograph pop from The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
That's awesome. I love how you displayed it, dude. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
That is, yeah.
And then I don't know why they haven't made a pop of him from The Walking Dead, but Aaron, who also played as the Stone Keeper. So because they didn't have an Aaron pop, I had to have him do the Stone Keeper.
That's dope. I like
Dope.
It's fantastic.
The funny thing is, so when I got that signed in Connecticut, I turned around online. A guy pulled out $1,200. He's like, "Here, I'll buy that off you right now." I'm like, "No, fuck that." I couldn't do it. I was just like, no, because I had a great time. I've got a picture, a couple of pictures autographed by him, and I had one between him and another girl. I think I forget who she was in the show. She was like the tall chick with the bow and arrow. I can't remember her name. I started a battle back and forth with them, like autographing the same picture. And the actor, he said, "I have a delightful asshole." And he had to write that because he went to say something else, but that's what came out. So that became the run-in joke for the whole night. But that was one of the best cons I've ever been to, because I got tickets to the after party and ended up meeting some of the celebrities, and I got invited to the after party. So I've got Power Rangers and a few of the other like TV the stars buying me drinks. The guy who did the voice on God of War. Oh my god, I can't remember the freaking name.
That's awesome.
Buying me shots.
Which one? Because
which
one? Carlton, not Carlton. He played in
big tall.
The new God of War, or the old God of War.
Christopher Judge.
Okay, yeah, that's the new God of War. Yes, the new God of War.
Yeah, Christopher Judge. Yeah, big tall.
Yeah. He's the new God of War.
Yeah, he was awesome, and a bunch of other guys, but yeah, they're funny. One person I would definitely recommend if you ever get the chance to meet, Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah.
You know all the celebrities, they have like people from the con working their line. He has to have one specific person just to shove people, because he will sit there and just talk and tell you stories about the good old days and this and he will literally talk to you for hours. They have to have one person working in his line, just pushing through, like, okay, yeah, no, great, yeah, have a good one, da.
That's good. He's like so personable that he's the conversation.
Once you meet him, it's hard to watch any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, because you can't take it seriously, because he's just such a nice guy. You're just like, oh yeah, you're not scary anymore,
Now you're scary, Terry.
This is my last piece to show for tonight. I have a couple more, but this one just for one last like a piece of how published art works. So this is another cover. It's Magneto and Polaris, his daughter.
That is.
So this is by Adam Polina and Tim Townsend. But just to give you another idea of how the process works, this is an unpublished cover. So all the artwork was done for the cover, but they decided to go with a different cover that Adam Polina did. He did multiple covers for, sometimes this happens, where they'll do multiple covers for the same book. And then Marvel will decide, okay, we like this one the most, and they go with that one. So this one ended up not making the cut for the published comic, but it's still a great piece of artwork.
So in terms of value, the unpublished covers, do they go for like the same kind of value or?
Not necessarily. Usually they will be cheaper depending on the situation. Almost always. But in this situation, it wasn't that it was cheaper. I actually liked the artwork more.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen the published one for this book for sale, but I've seen the actual comic, and I don't like the cover nearly as much. I think, in my opinion, they should have gone with this one in the 90s.
Right.
Because the one that they did, they added Quicksilver to it, and it just looks weird and it's a lot cleaner. So I'm actually happy this one wasn't published because it would have cost me like way more money to own.
Yeah. Man, that is incredible, dude. And I hate to do it, guys, because I know we're having a brilliant show, but it's 9 o'clock. We do have to call it a night.
No worries.
But hey, listen, you guys know you're always welcome anytime on the Sixth Element. Absolutely.
I'll be back.
And we're live Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. So if anybody came in late and missed the show, just rewind it, watch it again. And please leave us a comment down in the comment section. It definitely helps the channel. And man, thank you guys so much for coming on. I'm glad we met.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I mean, this was amazing.
This was amazing.
Real
man.
treat.
Enjoyed doing this with you guys. So anytime, I'm happy to hop back on, show off some more pieces. We went through a good portion.
Please do, man. Yeah, please do.
Right. My sleeve, I can show you down the road.
Anytime, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen. I was gonna, cause I hold on. This is gonna fall on the floor. All right, stop. God damn it! I knew it was gonna happen.
Ow, my head.
So no, I was gonna do an unboxing, a couple of unboxings. I had a couple of figures that we got. We got the the Jokers and the what's it columns, but I got this Mafex Superman, Cyborg Superman, and all of that, and
Classic.
So, but I'm not gonna do any of that because I can't follow and act like this. I'm not even gonna talk about my little $100. What is that? We're not. So listen, guys. We'll do that. We'll do that Wednesday. Maybe we'll check that out. But again, man, thank you guys so much. This was
my pleasure.
A blast.
It's great meeting you.
Definitely gonna be watching the show too.
Thank you, man, and we'll see you on the gram, guys. And again, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 7 p.m. We'll see you. Peace.
Sounds like a plan, Reno. Thanks for having me.
Great to meet you guys. Have a good night, everybody.
See you. Later.
Yeah.